Look, it can be tough as an American soccer fan. It seems like there's barriers at every direction you turn. You can't watch a game here. Peacock is telling you to sign up here. CBS All Access wants you to pay a few bucks a month. So what are you to do? Well, that's what this video is for. I'm here to give you a buyer's guide to what streaming services you should be purchasing if you are an American soccer fan. Stick with me right here on Pitchside with Parker.
Oh yeah. I'm not the type of brother to play with. See a lot of people acting like oh yeah. All ball players sounding like haters. We the young kings of this generation, oh yeah.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back, Pitchside with Parker. And this is a video I wanted to make because, quite frankly, Peacock has really thrown a wrench in things. If you follow me on Twitter, and go ahead and do that right now if you don't already, link is in the description, you know how I feel about this. Peacock is absolutely ruining everything good that NBC has done with the Premier League in the USA. All of a sudden, with this rollout of Peacock, you've got games like Chelsea and Liverpool behind a paywall. You've got games like Manchester City and Wolves behind a paywall. And this past weekend, 8 out of the 10 Premier League games were exclusively on Peacock, a subscription service that you have to pay extra for even if you already have NBC Sports in your cable package. So it got me to thinking, just with my experiences personally as a cord cutter and somebody who never even had cable, but I do try to watch as much soccer as possible, and my frustrations with trying to do that in America and do it on crappy Wi-Fi and, you know, just trying to be as active of a soccer fan as I can, but ultimately running into barriers all the time. It got me thinking, what are some of the best services that I use, and how could I translate that knowledge to people? Because look, we got to look out for each other. I know it's a struggle for a lot of people out there. So in this video, I'm going to kind of compare and contrast all the soccer streaming options that you might have. So especially if you're somebody who doesn't have cable and you're looking for the best ways to watch soccer, this is the video for you. Now, before I get too deep, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, well, there are some other ways to watch games that may circumvent a few rules here or there. And trust me, I am with you on that. I've been doing that for years. And in fact, if you're somebody who, you know what I'm talking about, but maybe you don't have a good website that you like to use, I will leave a link to one down in the description. So if you're looking for a better way to find some, we'll say, good soccer content, check the description box and I will leave a link to a pretty good website for that. However, here are your paid options. As we've already mentioned, there's Peacock, there's also ESPN Plus, CBS All Access, and BeIn Sports. These are kind of your 4 main options in terms of watching soccer. So I'm going to compare and contrast all of them, but let's start first with ESPN Plus. Now, I am a longtime subscriber of ESPN Plus, and I cannot recommend ESPN Plus highly enough if you are a soccer fan. The cost of ESPN Plus is $6 a month, and it has a ton of leagues on it, way more than any of these other streaming services. They have exclusive coverage of Serie A. They get pretty much all the international friendlies and the Euro Nations League. And this season, they added Bundesliga to their coverage as well, which is great because good riddance to Fox Sports. Glad they don't have the coverage anymore. Trust me, I used to work there. Nobody wanted that. But ESPN Plus also has Bundesliga this season. And beyond that, they also have a bunch of domestic cups. So if you want to watch your teams in the FA Cup, in the English League Cup, they've got the German Cup, and they've got a ton of other smaller leagues as well. Places like the Eredivisie, if you like Ajax and want to watch some of those young players. They've got the Swedish League, the Danish League. They've got some Liga MX games, Chinese Super League, if you want to watch some of the Premier League rejects that have headed over there in recent years. There just are so many leagues you can watch on ESPN Plus. And furthermore, every level of American soccer for the most part. You've got MLS games all on ESPN Plus. You've got all the levels of the USL, Championship, League One, all of that. And then college soccer is a huge one on ESPN Plus as well. I've even broadcasted some games on ESPN Plus for University of Illinois Chicago. Tons and tons of schools across men's and women's college soccer operate on ESPN Plus. And it's a great place for young broadcasters like myself to get experience. So obviously I'm going to recommend that as well. In terms of other content you can get with your ESPN Plus subscription as well, they do have a full library of the ESPN 30 for 30s, which are awesome documentaries if you're a sports fan. There's a few good soccer ones on there as well. I'd highly recommend the one on George Best. And then if you're just an American sports fan in general, obviously ESPN is kind of the massive name in that. Pretty much anything you could want for college sports is going to be on ESPN. They've got WNBA, they've got some NBA games on there. I mean, the world is basically yours if you subscribe to ESPN Plus, and all that is one subscription. So $6 a month. And again, I could not recommend that highly enough if you're a soccer fan. Now let's move on to Peacock. And this one is basically a complete 180 from what we were talking about with ESPN, because rather than having a ton of different leagues and a lot of great extra content, this is basically just ringing you out for every penny of your Premier League fanship. The only league that Peacock has is the Premier League, and they're doing 175 games this season. There are 38 game weeks in the season, so that averages out roughly to about 4 games per game week out of 10. So you're not even seeing like half of the games that will be on this season. And the thing that maybe has bothered me the most so far is that they don't even release them more than a week in advance which games are going to be on Peacock and which games are actually going to be available on NBC Sports. And this is important because Peacock, for some reason, despite asking you to pay $5 a month, does not even include the games that are on NBC Sports. So you can't actually cord cut with Peacock. You can't, cancel your cable subscription and then only go for Peacock to watch Premier League, because games that are not selected for Peacock are only available via NBC Sports, and you need a TV login for that. It's just an infuriating business model. As I said before, there are ways around this, and I think if you're tempted to buy Peacock, let me tell you, you're probably better off just trying to stream the games elsewhere. Again, link in the description. And there's really not even any extra added incentive to purchase Peacock either, because the content that NBC provided on there is pretty limited, and it's all basically just NBC TV shows. They don't really have a very good movie selection. So in terms of it becoming like an entertainment purchase as well, you're really not getting that much out of it. So sports, it's not that great. Entertainment, it's not that great. You know how I feel about Peacock. Now let's move on to CBS All Access. And this is one that I think it's really going to depend on what you like to watch as a soccer fan, whether this is a good option for you or not. Personally, I am a subscriber to CBS All Access. I have been since the NWSL Challenge Cup, because it was the channel to take over the NWSL rights. And that is where I'll start with this, is for $6 a month, I would say this is a pretty good purchase if you're a women's soccer fan. They have NWSL rights, so there's going to be games. The fall series is currently on CBS. They had all of the Challenge Cup games on there as well. So you have to assume that heading into the new NWSL season, they'll pick up the rights for that. Also, CBS now has Champions League rights. So some of you may have picked up on it from that. I thought their Champions League coverage was phenomenal. I mean, their studio show was great with Kate Abdo and Micah Richards, Roberto Martinez, Jamie Carragher. I thought it was as good as I've seen American Champions League coverage. Certainly way better than TNT. So if nothing else, it's definitely a good thing to keep in mind, so that when the Champions League comes back, maybe you start the monthly subscription and, you can kind of get it and cancel as your team may advance or not. Or maybe you just get it for the last few knockout rounds or whatever. But I would recommend it because their coverage is top notch. They also have Women's Champions League as well, which is, I believe, the first time a major network has gotten streaming rights for that in the United States. So I think if you're a women's soccer fan, it's important to subscribe to CBS All Access just to keep those numbers up and show them that there is that demand for women's soccer, and that hopefully those new contracts in the future will help it get on other networks as well, because people will see that people subscribe to CBS All Access. There are a couple other benefits to having CBS All Access as well, which I have noticed in my time as a subscriber, because no, there is not soccer all the time on there, but one thing that it is good for, if you're a complete cord cutter like myself, where I don't have a cable subscription, you can still watch CBS. You don't actually need a login. You can just watch your local CBS channel. So if you want to watch NFL football or college basketball on Saturdays, or I don't know, you want to watch 60 Minutes or something, you can watch CBS and you can do it live at any point. So that's really nice. And also their entertainment library is actually decent compared to some of these other options. CBS, I guess, acquired the rights to Nickelodeon and to MTV, which are two pretty random things. I know not all of you will be excited on that, but me personally, I'm a reality TV junkie, so I have really enjoyed all the MTV shows that CBS All Access has to provide. And then also, if you like some of those old Nickelodeon shows, they've got Avatar on there, they've got SpongeBob. So, I mean, look, to me, that's a bonus. If you think so or not, that's up to you, but I will say there's some decent entertainment options that come with CBS All Access as well. The last one I'll talk about is BeIn Sports, and this one is probably the least publicized, I would say, of all the American soccer streaming options. This is the place to go if you're big on La Liga or if you're big on Ligue 1. Say Barcelona or Real Madrid are your favorite team. This is where you will go and you can watch pretty much all of those games. Furthermore, they show a lot of Ligue 1 games, so if you want to be up on the young talent, a lot of which comes from Ligue 1, or maybe you really like PSG and you want to watch Neymar every week, you want to watch Mbappe every week, this is a great option. For those of you that have seen Vic on this channel before, he subscribes to that, so I've never subscribed to it personally, but I've watched a lot at his house. You can get it through Sling TV, and that is pretty much the only option, but you can purchase BeIn a la carte through Sling. So basically you get BeIn and like 2 other channels, and it's $10 a month, so it is a little bit more expensive than these other two, and it does only have those 2 leagues, plus I think the Turkish league and some Copa Libertadores games and a few South American internationals as well. So it's a decent package. It's a little more expensive than the other ones, but as I said, I think this is the great option if you're really into La Liga or Ligue 1 or one of your favorite teams plays in those leagues, and you can get it with the Sling TV package. So if you already have Sling TV, you can get this as an add-on for that $10 a month. And if you want to be a like full-time cord cutter and you want to be able to watch like every different soccer league out there, this could be one that you add to your package. So maybe you want to fully cord cut, but you want to purchase ESPN Plus and BeIn. All of a sudden, you're going to have access to all of the top 5 leagues in Europe except for the Premier League. And then if you just want to maybe stream Premier League games through, you know, some circumvented practices, that's a pretty good solution for you. And at that point, you're only paying $15 a month, and you've got like 80% of European soccer covered from those two. So I hope this video gives you an idea of how you can kind of mix and match some of these, what they're good for, what they could bring to you as a consumer. Again, I've had experience with every single one of these. If I were to rank them 1 to 4, I would do ESPN Plus, and then probably BeIn and CBS All Access are close, and all the way at the bottom, below the dirt, below Tottenham, that's where you would find Peacock. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please leave a like on this. Maybe comment what you do for your soccer streaming needs. Maybe you have better websites than me. Maybe you are a full cord cutter and you subscribe to all of these. I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think as well. But I hope that this could help you make a decision. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.